40 years, 26 lessons, how to outsmart the machines and own your own future in 2026. That's today's topic of the Reach Every Student podcast. Hi, I'm Jon Bergmann. Welcome to episode 56 of this podcast. This is my 40th year in education, and I feel like I've seen it all. When I started teaching in 1986, no computers, I calculated grades by hand, I learned from physical books, and I looked things up in the card catalog. I've lived a deep and fulfilled life, and I hope that I've inspired others to do as well. I find myself being more reflective as the months and the years go by, and I think more about the future I want for my students. So as one of the old teachers, I'm like 62 years old, I'm going to give students 26 pieces of advice, and as we start out 2026. So this is a post meant for students, but I hope as teachers that you see the value of this advice for your students. I've taken these 26 things and I've broken them down into 3 categories. Phase 1 is mastering the craft, school and AI. Phase 2 moves to more of the personal and how you build in character traits. And phase 3 is connecting to the greater world. Most students think that if learning feels hard, something's wrong. I've watched this for decades, but here's the truth. Struggle is actually the part that matters. So tip number 1, turn struggle into strength. In the early 2000s, I had a student who was terrible at math. At least that's what she thought. She would get frustrated and shut down every time we tried something new. But I kept nudging her, letting her wrestle with the problems on her own before giving the answers. Slowly, bit by bit, she started to get it. That struggle, that wrestling with the material was what made it stick. The point is, growth almost never feels easy. The next time something feels hard, don't panic. Stay with it a little longer than you want to. That's that uncomfortable spot, what educators, teachers like me call the productive struggle. That's where learning really happens. And if you stick with it, you'll be surprised at just how strong you'll become. One thing I've learned over the years is that showing up prepared makes all the difference. So tip number 2, master the pre-work before you show up. I remember when I first started flipping my classroom, I asked students to watch a short video before class and then come to class to solve problems. The ones who actually did the pre-work, they soared. The ones who skipped it, they struggled. They got frustrated, they often gave up. The lesson is simple. Doing the work ahead of time isn't just busy work, it's the foundation. You can't build a strong house on a shaky foundation, and you can't build real understanding in the class if you haven't done the groundwork. So students, start small. Watch the 5-minute video, read that one page, and try that one problem before class. Then, when you show up, the real magic happens. The thinking, the practice, the discovery, that's where learning sticks. When it comes to using tools like AI, the order matters. This is tip number 3. In an open letter I wrote to my students about navigating the era of AI, I quoted Scott Latham. Scott is a professor at a business college in the US, and what he found something very surprising. Students who let AI write the rough draft first, and then they tried to fix it, actually did worse. The quality of their work went down, but students who wrote their rough draft first and then used AI to improve, well, they soared. Their work was far stronger. This tells us something important. Tools like AI should amplify your thinking, not replace it. So start with your own effort. Write, brainstorm, puzzle. Figure it out yourself. And once you have that foundation, then let AI help you clarify, expand, and refine. That's how you build real understanding and avoid shortchanging your own growth. Too many students treat class like a waiting room, waiting for the bell to ring, for the weekend to start, or for the better time to figure it out later with AI. Tip number 4, make class time count. Stop the waiting room game. But here's the truth. Real learning doesn't wait. When I started flipping my classroom, I realized that lectures belong at home, but the hard work belongs in class. Classroom time is precious because it's the only time you're surrounded by peers and a teacher who can help you wrestle with ideas. If you coast through class, play I'll just catch up later game, you're missing the struggle that actually will build your brain The insights, that aha moment, and the skills happen in the moment you engage. Put your phone away, lean in, and do the work now. Don't just sit there in the waiting room. Start building your future while you're in the room. Many students focus on getting points, chasing grades, quizzes, and homework scores. I call them grade hounds. They want the answer, the check mark, the easy win. But here's what I've learned in decades, this is year 40, of teaching. Those students rarely thrive long term. Don't be that kid. The ones who do thrive, that's who you want to be, the students who ask questions, even messy, imperfect questions. They lean into curiosity, explore ideas, and challenge themselves. That's how real learning sticks. When I flipped my classroom, I saw this clearly. Students who asked, why does this work? Or what if I try this differently? They not understood the material better. They carried that curiosity to everything else they did. Answers fade, but curiosity lasts a lifetime. So don't chase points, chase questions. Ask, explore, and wonder. That's the path to real growth and success. One of the fastest ways to get better at anything is to listen to feedback. Tip number 6, use feedback to guide growth. When most students hear feedback, they think it as criticism, not guidance. They get defensive and ignore it. That's a mistake. I remember when I was writing my last book, my editor cautiously told me that she had something to say. I piped in, chapter 15, and she said, yes. I knew it wasn't my best writing. I'd spent hours on it, but in the best interest of the book, I had to delete it, and she was right. You see, feedback's a mirror. It shows you where you can improve. If a teacher points out a mistake or a peer gives you an idea, don't take it personally. Take it as a tool to get better. Your growth works the same way. Embrace feedback, experiment, adjust, and keep moving. Every connection, suggestion, or critique is a step towards mastery. Don't fear it, use it. That's how real progress happens. In 5 years, nobody will care what your GPA is, but they'll care about how you think. Tip number 7, grades and answers fade, but the way you train your brain lasts a lifetime. Strong habits mean learning to analyze, question, and reason, not just memorize or copy. Here's a simple strategy. When you read something, ask yourself, do I really understand this? Could I explain it to someone else? Even better, prepare for an oral test, even if you don't have an oral test. Imagine explaining the material to your teacher or a classmate. If you can teach it, you can truly understand it. When you solve a problem, don't stop at the first answer. Instead, ask, is there another way? Think through different solutions. These habits train your mind to be creative, flexible, and independent. I've seen students who practice these habits tackle challenges others avoid. They're not naturally smarter, okay? They just know how to think well. Focus on how you think, not just on what you do. Build your thinking habits now, and your future self will thank you. Here's something I learned after decades of teaching. It doesn't matter when you learn something, it matters that you actually learn it. This is tip number 8 of 26. Take your time, mastery over speed. In my classroom, you get extra chances to show mastery. You can retake tests until the material sticks. But don't mistake that for unlimited time. Life's busy. You got sports clubs, jobs. If it pulls you in 100 directions. You know, the students who really succeed aren't the ones rushing through to get a test grade. They're the ones who use their retake wisely, slow down, focus on understanding, and make the learning theirs. Mastery of something isn't a race. Take your time that you need, do it right, and own what you learn. That's the learning and the stuff that will last. One of the biggest lies students tell themselves is, I'm just not good at this. So tip number 9 of 26, believe you're capable. When you say, I'm just not good at this, I'm not good at math, I'm not good at writing, I'm not good at school, most of the time, you know what's actually missing? It's belief. I learned this the hard way in my life. Years ago, I was overweight and out of shape, and fitness was not my thing. But instead of deciding this just isn't who I am, I took one small step, and I signed up for a short triathlon. I wasn't good at it, not even close. That first time, I ran a block, and I like almost threw up. It was terrible. But you know what I did? I kept showing up. The next day, I ran 2 blocks, and then 3 blocks. And little by little, focusing on something that I was bad at changed me. One step at a time turned into a healthier life. Eventually, I completed 4 Ironman triathlons, and I still do long distance cycling. Not because I was naturally gifted, but because I leaned into the struggle instead of running from it. That's how learning works too. You don't start capable, you become capable. Confidence comes after effort, not before. So don't decide too early who you are and what you're good at. Take the next small step, and then the next one, and the next one. You are capable of far more than you. Your life is moving at 2x speed. If you don't hit pause, you're just downloading information without ever installing it. Tip number 10 of 26, live a life of reflection. I've been journaling for over 40 years, and it changes me. Here's my journal. I have an agreement, by the way, with myself to be 100% honest in my journal. It's often raw, and I use it sometimes to actually argue with God, to lament, which means to cry, I guess, right? Yeah. And to rejoice. My thoughts clear up, and as I write, my path forward reveals itself. You see, reflection is looking at my mistakes and turning them into lessons. It's where we look at our wins and turn them into confidence. So don't just go through life, grow through it. Here's my challenge to you. Take 10 minutes today. Put your phone in another room, not in your room. Grab a notebook and ask yourself, what did I learn today? What mistakes did I make? What triumphs did I have? You might even use this letter to write, just this time, to write a letter to God. This small habit of reflection will set you up to thrive and to live a life of purpose. The habits you form now matter more than you think. We are habitual creatures. The question isn't if you have habits, it's whether those habits are shaping you or distracting you from your higher calling. So start small, put the phone down, read a few pages, do the assignment yourself instead of letting AI do it. These little choices add up. You were made for a purpose, not to be endlessly entertained, but to do meaningful work with your life. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Apps, notifications, even AI doing your work. Watching this video, probably, right? Tip number 12 of 26, protect your thinking time. If you want to get ahead in school and in life, you need to protect your thinking time. For me, the best ideas come on a long walk or a bike ride. That's when my mind clears up, connections click, and thoughts flow freely. Even 15 or 20 minutes of uninterrupted thinking spark insights you wouldn't get otherwise. If you carve out this time, you'll excel. You'll ask smarter questions, solve tougher problems, and remember what you learned. Students who skip this step often rush, skim, or rely on shortcuts, and their understanding never sticks. So guard your brain, take a walk, sit quietly, find a space to think deeply. That time is where the real learning and progress happens. Protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. So many students get stuck chasing perfection. Every test, every lab, every assignment. Tip number 13 of 26, don't aim for perfect, aim for progress. If it has to be flawless, there's a problem. You see, perfection is a trap. It keeps you from learning deeply and moving forward. I've seen students who study for hours, but still bomb a test. Why? They try to memorize for the short term rather than understand the material. They aim for the perfect recall instead of building lasting knowledge. Real learning comes from practice, mistakes, and reflection, not from endless hours of surface level memorization. Think of progress like a ladder. Every small step, trying a problem, asking a question, reviewing a concept, moves you higher. Even if it's not perfect, it's moving you forward. So stop aiming for perfection. Focus on learning a little deeper each time, improving each attempt, and building knowledge that lasts. That's how real progress and real success can happen. If you do anything significant with your life, there will be opposition. Tip number 14, take the high road. Some people will say and do mean things to you. In that moment, you have a choice. Do you lash back or do you let it bounce off of you? I have not done this perfectly. You hear me for sure. But I found that when I take the high road and do the harder things, things work out better for me, and they will for you too. So take the high road. When somebody attacks, turn the other cheek, a principle of Jesus. And you'll be surprised at how it makes your life better. Life is hard, but you get to choose your hard. This is tip 15 of 26. It's hard to resist cheating on a test, but you know what? It's even harder to live with the guilt. So choose your heart. It's hard to put down your phone, but it's even harder when distractions steal your time and your focus. Choose your heart. It's hard to ask for help, but it's even harder to fall silently behind. Choose your heart. It's hard to be kind to someone who annoys you, but it's even harder to lose a friend over pride. Choose your heart. It's hard to practice a skill and to stick to healthy habits, but it's even harder when opportunities pass you by and you lose your health. Choose your heart. Life will always be challenging. The difference is which challenges you pick. Choose the right heart, the one that builds you up. In 40 years of teaching, I've seen thousands of students. And I'm going to tell you something that might sound wrong. You're not that big of a deal. Tip number 16 of 26, walk in humility. Hear me out. I know, we live in a world that tells you that you need to be your own biggest fan. For every post, for every win, and to always be the main character. But arrogance is actually a ceiling. It stops you from growing. Arrogance says, I already know everything. Humility says, I'm a work in progress. When you walk in humility, you become coachable. You become the person people want to help. You become a leader whom others actually trust. Humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. It's being willing to take the back seat so you can learn how the front seat actually works. It's the superpower that lets you absorb wisdom while everyone else is busy talking. You are not a human doing. You are a human being. This is tip number 17 of 26. It's more important to be than to do. I have honestly, personally struggled with this concept. I'm really good at getting things done. But in the end, be part of my faith journey, I was created to live as a child of God, of a king. And nothing I can do, positive or negative, will change my assured relationship with my Creator. So if I could give you guys any advice, I'd say this: live in such a way that you rest in the reality of His great care for you. It changes your entire perspective on life, that you matter to someone who is the great creator of all. It will change everything about you when you allow that truth to sink into your life. In a world designed to make you want more, gratitude is the only thing that gives you enough. This is tip 18 of 26. It is so easy for you to live a self-centered life. This is true of adults like me, but also teenagers, and maybe a little bit more as teenagers, because life to some degree has been about you. Your parents have taken care of you. It's awesome, right? But as I look back, I owe so much to the people who changed my life, from my high school chemistry teacher, my parents, and my mentors. You also have people who poured into your life. Go thank them. Radical gratitude does something beyond being thankful for the good things. It means being thankful for the challenges too. Those struggles are the forge that will fashion you into the strong and resilient person that you want to be. Without the heat of the forge, the metal never becomes a tool. So here's a pro tip. It's kind of related to tip 11 about reflection. Use this time to journal your gratitude. Writing down what you're grateful for, the wins and the waits, will sear those lessons in your mind and your soul. Your phone is making you more connected, but it's actually making you worse at relationship. Tip number 19 of 26, don't swap human connection for simulation. In the era of AI, chatbots, social media feeds, it's easy to settle for a simulation of friendship. You've likely seen these apps that promise you to be your AI friend, your boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Always available, always cheering you up. But here's the hard truth. An AI can simulate a conversation, but it cannot care about you. humans, you and me, are made for real, messy, irreplaceable relationships. Friends who challenge you, classmates who make you laugh, and mentors who push you. I've watched students who rely too much on their digital connections struggle with empathy, teamwork, and confidence. Real connection requires being present. It's asking a friend how their day went, joining a study group, or having a face-to-face conversation where you can't hit undo. Don't drift away behind a screen. Invest in real people. Those human connections will shape your life in ways that technology never can. There's an old adage that says that you're the average of your 5 closest friends. This is tip number 20 of 26. Live life with good people. 5 people you hang out with most. You're that average. So here's the tip. Surround yourself with quality people. People who not only will listen to you, but also challenge you and push you to become better. When my own children were entering high school, I shared with them the most important decision they would make would be who they hung out with. This is my 40th year in education, and that is still true. And I can say that those students who hang out with a positive peer group become thriving humans in the future. So important. Find that group of people who will lift you up, not drag you down. Students, hard truth. You're young and you need adults to guide you. Tip number 21 of 26. I'm fortunate that when I was young, I found a few people who poured into my life. They believed I could be more than I was. I am not a self-made man, and you are not going to be a self-made person yourself. It's a lie that people are self-made. That's a lie. Those who make a big difference in the world always have those who push them and believe in them. They've got mentors. We humans are made to live in a society, so you need to go find a mentor. Someone who's been there, done that. Your life will be forever changed. So here's your tip. Find somebody, a teacher, a pastor, a parent, an uncle, a grandpa, a grandma, and say, I need to be mentored by you. Find that person, change your life. Students, hard truth. You're young and you need adults to guide you. Tip number 21 of 26. I'm fortunate that when I was young, I found a few people who poured into my life. They believed I could be more than I was. I am not a self-made man, and you are not going to be a self-made person yourself. It's a lie that people are self-made. That's a lie. Those who make a big difference in the world always have those who push them and believe in them. They've got mentors. We humans are made to live in a society, so you need to go find a mentor. Someone who's been there, done that. Your life will be forever changed. So here's your tip. Find somebody, a teacher, a pastor, a parent, an uncle, a grandpa, a grandma, and say, I need to be mentored by you. Find that person, change your life. Life rarely goes according to plan. Tip number 23, be adaptable. The future will change again. Schools change, friends change, interests change, and your future job or career is probably going to not look at all like what you imagined. You know, I've seen the students who succeeded aren't always the smartest. They're the ones who adapt, who try new approaches, who learn from their mistakes, and they keep going when things don't work out. Think of change like a river. I teach rivers, I'm a science teacher. You can fight it and you can get stuck, or you can flow with it and use it to move forward. Flexibility, curiosity, and a willingness to pivot will keep you ahead no matter what comes next. So don't fear change. Practice adaptability now. Take on challenges you wouldn't normally try. Adjust things when they go wrong and keep learning. The future's going to change again, and when it does, you'll be ready. In my life, curiosity has always been my guide. Tip number 24 of 26, curiosity is your best habit. It's what led me to explore new ideas, to write books, and to take paths I never imagined. When I see a genuinely curious student, something magical happens. They take off in ways that surprise everyone, including themselves. And these aren't always just the A students. In fact, it's usually like the B+ students, who I think are the ones who will thrive the most because they're more interested in learning than they are in grades and junk, right? Curiosity isn't just asking questions because you have to. It's wondering, exploring, it's digging deeper. It turns challenges into adventures and assignments into discoveries. The students who just follow instructions might get by, but the curious ones, they grow faster, learn more, and open doors. They're the ones that just soar. So make curiosity your habit. Ask questions, explore ideas beyond the assignment. And don't be afraid to be wrong. Curiosity isn't just learning, it's a habit that shapes your future. It is so easy for me to think that life revolves around me. Hey, this is tip number 25 of 26. I was not put here to be served, but to make a difference serving others. And also for you, life's not about you. You need to reorder your life in such a way that you live for the benefit of others and our society. And when that happens, it'll change everything. The quickest road, I think, to success in life is to get out of your own way. And then your life will soar. You're living in one of the most exciting times in human history, the fourth industrial revolution. This is tip number 26 of 26. And here it's entitled, Think Ahead, the Future Needs You. AI, biotechnology, and technologies are changing everything around us faster than anyone could have imagined. That could feel overwhelming. Jobs, industries, school seems different. But here's the truth. What will matter most is your ability to think, to learn, and create. Machines can't replace curiosity, deep understanding, or imagination. So instead of worrying about the future, prepare for it. Ask questions, solve problems, challenge yourself, and build skills that last a lifetime. The opportunities are huge for the students who focus on thinking well, not just memorizing answers. This isn't a time to be afraid. It's a time to step up, lean in, and get ready. Because the world needs thinkers, makers, and learners. That will be your edge. So that's my 26 lessons. And so as I finish this, I have a challenge for you. It's your turn to build, right? 40 years ago, I stood where you are, students. A world that felt vast and unknown. Back then, we had card catalogs and handwritten ledgers. Today, you have the world's information in your pocket and AI at your fingertips. The tools have changed, but the requirement for a life well lived remains exactly the same. The future isn't something that just happens to you. It's something that you build. Every small choice, every wrestled math problem, and every act of humility. So here's my challenge for 2026 for you, my students, and for the students of the world. Don't just be a consumer of this new world. Be a contributor. Don't settle for the easy answer from a machine when you're designed for the deep satisfaction of the struggle and personal relationships. Choose your hard. Guard your focus. Lean into the messy, beautiful reality of being a human and human connection, connecting with others. I spent 4 decades watching students realize that they are capable of more than they ever dreamed. My time in the classroom is going to eventually come to an end, but your story is just beginning. Take these 26 lessons, not as rules, but as a foundation to build upon. The world is waiting for thinkers, for servants, and for leaders who know who they are. Go out and be one.